I think we forget that pressure creates diamonds, that adversity creates growth, that struggle yields transformation. We forget that because we're too busy looking on the outside. Very few of us take time to really reflect on what's going on the inside. And here's what ends up happening. You'll go through something difficult and you're like, oh, if I could just make it through this, if I could just make it through. And then you make it through and then you forget about that. And then the next thing will come in a couple months or a couple years and you're like, oh, if I can just make it through. Stop begging and hoping and wishing and just look back on your life, on everything that you've ever gone through, and realize that whatever hard thing you went through, it has always made you better. Always. Always. So now when you know that, you'll know that you'll always be okay. So when it gets hard, it's not hard. This is just my opportunity to grow right now.
Real growth feels like dying. The truth is that in order to grow, you must kill off parts of you for new parts to be able to grow in that place. A snake sheds its skin not because it wants to, but because it has to. If it doesn't, it will literally suffocate. And that's what personal growth feels like. You'll outgrow your environment, your habits. You'll outgrow probably some relationships. It's tight, it's uncomfortable, but you have to stop running from it. It's necessary. Because if you're trying to stay the same old you, you will eventually destroy the new you that's trying to be born. So if it feels like it's a lot right now, like you're crawling out of your old skin and it's uncomfortable, that's a good thing. You're not breaking down, you're breaking through. So just remember this. For a seed to become a flower, it must completely destroy itself first.
You intuitively know the things that are supposed to be done. You know your life doesn't look the way you want to look. You know you're not giving your all at your job. Everybody knows that. But very few people proactively address it and understand how to leverage those feelings into productive action. And my hope for you guys this year is that this becomes the time where you actually figure out that there is no easy way, there is no quick way, there is no permanent way.
Every time you betray yourself, you lose self-respect. Every time you break a promise to yourself, you're showing the world how to treat you. And you show yourself how to treat you. It's just a thing. People who really respect themselves, they just leave situations, and people who don't respect them, they just fucking dip. They ghost them and they leave.
Look inside, you'll find something to grapple with.
You have so much time to live. It's your time. So your goal in life is to realize that that is your treasure. So let's say you're working at that job and you have that horrible boss and you're miserable. You could turn that around and make those 8 hours a lifetime. You tell yourself, maybe I could see that there are things that I can learn even from the worst possible job. So that's how you create a lifetime, by saying, it's mine. I'm going to create something worthwhile out of it. I'm not going to give it away to others. This is my time, I'm gonna own it.
What I'm saying is, don't settle. Don't live lives of complacency, because there is so much out there for us. We all have the right to live incredibly fulfilled, incredibly passionate, incredibly joyful lives where you are psyched it's Monday morning, where you are psyched that you're in quarantine with your family, where you are psyched that you get to do what you do every single day. And if something doesn't line up that way, don't put it off. This is your life. No one is going to come and change it for you.
Why couldn't we just be happy being who and what we are? Why is it that we're punished if we don't strive? Couldn't we just be rewarded for who we are? I can understand that, but I don't think that it works. I don't think things function like that. And I don't think probably in the final analysis we really want them to. I don't know if anyone enjoys undeserved reward. It feels creepy, doesn't it, to be rewarded for something you didn't do? When else, the positive emotion that we find sustaining is experienced in relationship to an unachieved goal.
Oh, if you want it again to grow, you've got to put something out here that you can't reach easily, that has got to make you stretch, got to make you jump for it, got to make you get back a little bit and dig in so that you can take a leap for it. And maybe you jump up there and you miss it and you extend your knees and you come back again and you bust your lip next time. But you keep on, and through that process, you learn how to leap higher. You start challenging yourself to dig deeper, and then you discover some things about you that you don't know right now. Some talents that you have in you that you didn't know that you can do.
Right? Most cats are somebody that works hard. If the situation and the circumstances what they want us to be, they're gonna come out and they're gonna act accordingly and they're gonna give you everything they got. But a hard worker, regardless of situation, regardless of circumstance, regardless of what happened, I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna give everything I got to it because I'm looking for something that's totally different. Like the question becomes this: can you be committed to the process of what you're doing without being emotionally attached to the results of what you do?
Nothing's ever going to be given to you. Everything's going to be earned. If you don't go out there and put in the work, you don't go out and put in the effort, one, you're not going to get the results. But two, and more importantly, you don't deserve it. You didn't earn it.
Do you remember who you were before the world told you who you should be? Right? Like courage. Do you remember who you were before the world told you who you should be? And so anytime you got to be courageous, let's look at it from the standpoint of dreams, goals, and aspirations. You got your dream, your goal, and your aspiration, and then you got reality. And oftentimes reality doesn't reflect the goal, the dream, and the aspiration. And so when you think courage, like being courageous and following your heart because it somehow knows what you want to do anyway, like it's almost like instinct, right? It's almost like when you feel something that you should do, and for some strange reason, like your mind or your spirit tells you, nah, I don't want to do it, because it takes you outside of your comfort zone and it puts you in a space and place that may be unknown, or puts you in a space and place of uncharted territory, but you know you should do it. You could feel it, right? And then you go against it. And all it does is make the route a lot longer. That's all it does.
Making promises to yourself that you don't keep. It's saying, I'm going to do this and not doing it. Because then what happens after that is the self-talk. Self-talk that you create by not upholding the obligations that you make to yourself is ultimately the most destructive thing that you could ever do to yourself. I'm going to start on Monday. 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 I'm going to start after the wedding. I'm going to start after this trip, after summer, after this next holiday, after the holidays. I'm going to start. Sound familiar? Yeah. That's why you feel like it, because you know that you didn't do none of that shit and told yourself you should have done.
I was that guy. I failed everything I did the first time. I was known for coming back even harder after I failed. Success isn't a straight line. It's a maze. And when you think you figured that maze out, you hit a wall. And you got to fuck around, start again. Stay hard.
Take ownership for your life. Nobody can live your dream for you but you. Nobody's going to take care of your business like you. Stop coming up with excuses. Don't give yourself permission to continue to live a small life. You can't fit a big dream into a small life. Give yourself permission to go for it, to test yourself, to challenge yourself, to live full.
Everybody talk about how great they want to be until adversity and opposition hits. You judge the true character and caliber of a person by what they stand in times of challenge and opposition.
Things that are robust, that are strong, that are tough, that can take just a lot of abuse before they break, they are still ultimately defined by their breaking point. Something that is anti-fragile, on the other hand, is something that the more you attack it, the more it is pounded on, the stronger it gets. We're tied to something that is truly anti-fragile, that the more somebody comes after it, the more robust it becomes. Being a learner is that answer.
Because when it got hard, or when it rained, or when you got hungry, whatever, your boys wanted to go out to the club, or whatever the fuck it was, you did it, and you didn't stick through, and that's it. Our life success comes down to little bitty tiny decisions that we make consistently over and over and over again. And if you're making consistent decisions to break your momentum over and over and over again, you're not fucking having it.
If you can just keep believing, when nothing in you is working, when all your external forces have given way, if you can just manage to somehow keep hoping, just hope. You ain't even really got to believe. All you got to do is hope. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. You just got to hope. Sometimes you ain't strong enough to believe, but you can always be strong enough to just hope. Man, I hope God come get me. I hope I make it.
So I just want to tell you, man, that don't let those thoughts that are trying to kill you. Or those thoughts that telling you you're not enough, those thoughts that tell you things won't get better, those thoughts that tell you that you aren't your mistakes, those thoughts that tell you that you aren't your past, those thoughts that tell you that you're worthless. Don't let those thoughts kill you. They're lying to you. Because you're more than that. You're more than a conqueror. You're more than what you're going through. You do have purpose. You are awesome. You are talented. You are beautiful. You are special, despite what you've been going through.
Most of us have been conditioned not to take a risk. People ask me all the time, what does it take to be happy? And I always tell them it's really simple. One word, progress. Progress equals happiness. If you keep growing, you're gonna feel alive. And if you keep growing, you're gonna have more to give. And when you're growing and giving is when life is magnificent.
You can't be successful if you say one thing and you do another thing. So I'm here to tell y'all for real, success, number one, starts with you. Like for real success is you say one thing, and if you do what you say 70% of the time, you're gonna be average. If you do what you say you're gonna do 80% of the time, you're gonna be real good. And if you do what you say you're gonna do 90% of the time, you're gonna be great. Because very few people do what they say they're gonna do. It sounds good coming off your lips.
When I finally discovered it's all risky, the minute you were born at that risky. If you think trying is risky, wait till they hand you the bill for not trying.
But as you go through the challenges of life and you look at it and embrace whatever comes to you, don't run from it. Step toward it. Don't try and duck it like most people do. See, most people want it easy. See, easy come, easy what? Easy go.
But if you can remain hopeful in spite of all adversity, if you could just go to bed and just wake up tomorrow, every time you wake up, that's a sign from God that He ain't through with you yet.
I don't know what your future is, but if you're willing to take the harder way, the more complicated one, the one with more failures at first than successes, the one that has ultimately proven to have more meaning, more victory, more glory, then you will not regret it. Whatever you choose for a career path, remember the struggles along the way are only meant to shape you for your purpose.
And don't let your mind control you. Control your mind. And then you can set it free.
It's not helpful to you to be envious. If you know what you want, then you know when you're failing. If you don't allow yourself to know what you want, you can keep that foggy. If you don't set out the conditions for your success, then you can avoid your responsibility because, again, that's not clear. The problem with wanting something is that in all probability, you're going to have to work for it. You're going to have to make sacrifices, and it's certainly possible that you want to avoid that. Failing to make any of that clear protects you right now, but it's really hard on you over the medium to long term.
How can I wake up early in the morning? Wake up early. How can I work out consistently every day? Work out consistently every day. You have control over your mind. You just have to assert it. You have to decide that you are going to be in control, that you are going to do what you want to do. Laziness doesn't get a vote. Sadness doesn't get a vote.
You go at what you're going to deal with, and you deal with the difficulties of it. When you handle those hard things close at hand, making those hard decisions right now that you don't want to make, learning those things that you don't like to do, but you know that in order for you to get where you want to go, this is one of the hoops that you have to flip through.
Like you know exactly what you want. You know exactly when you want it. Listen to him. You know exactly what it tastes like. You know what it looks like. You know what it smells like. Like before you really blow up, and you get success, like you literally have it in the palm of your hand without having it. No, I'm serious, God. You gotta know what it looks like.
Don't ask for security, ask for adventure.
If you fight with faith, you fight with prayer, eventually you'll realize everything that you went through had a purpose.
You have to learn, what do you want in your life? And it's okay to sit in a room by yourself in a chair and just think about you.
Failure, hell, disappointment, discomfort is a great learning tool. And many people don't understand that.
You got to take ownership of what's going on in your life. If you're not where you want to be, and you say it's because the boss doesn't like you, or it's because the girl treated you this way, or the guy did this, like all those things, you got to take ownership of. And if you're blaming all these other external things, you're not going to make any changes, and that's going to be a problem.
Wishing says to your mind, you haven't got a prayer, but you might as well wish. So when you say to the mind, I wish I could, it says, yeah, me too, get over it.
When other people break and give up and stop, I just don't, right? And it comes down to the story you tell yourself about yourself.
Change is really hard. I don't think people realize how hard it is, because often when they think of change, they think about making positive changes. And so you say to people, well, obviously making that change would improve your life, so why is it so hard to do? And the reason is because, first of all, change is hard because change involves loss. So even though you might be moving to something better, what you do lose is you lose the familiar. You lose your comfort zone. And a lot of us are very worried about going into a place of uncertainty, a place that we haven't been before. So some of us, like sort of human nature, would rather stay in the familiar place, even if the familiar is miserable or unpleasant, than to say, I'm gonna risk something and go to this place that makes me really uncomfortable. They can't tolerate the discomfort of the uncertainty.
The things I do in life, most of life, you're alone. You may have a whole support crew around you, but up here, you're alone. Most of the stuff I do, I'm training for those moments. When you start to dive back in the cellar of your mind, and you're pulling out all these tactics, all these mental tactics to get through this, and no one's coming to save you, and you get through that.
Going into the darkness, I think everybody is motivated by two different things. One, you have the beautiful things in your life, the things that are going well, the things that you're grateful for, the things you're moving towards instead of away. You have a compelling vision of your future. It's something that you're very excited about. Now, the flip side of that equation are the
things that people that doubt you, it's haters, it's things you're moving away from, it's fear-based things, it's something that you absolutely refuse to let happen. One that is incredibly potent to me are the people that want to see me fail. And I find in very acute moments, the darkness serves you better.
Every thought you think and every word you say forms a blueprint, and your mind must work to make that blueprint real.
Only execution matters. Burn that into your nervous system. Do whatever you need to do to remind yourself, only execution matters.
When you're working on something you want to achieve, you have got to stand up to that voice. You've got to sell yourself every day on your abilities, on what you're doing, on the goal that you want to reach. You've got to sell yourself every day, every day, every day. According to your level of belief, it will manifest itself in what you're doing.
The worst thing in life that happens to a man is they get civilized. Because you lose the hunger for life. You think you've arrived. And once you have a I've arrived mentality, that's my biggest fears. Is I get to the point where I'm at that point where life has come to me and I have that feeling of I've arrived. I now know my life for what I know it to be is over. I cracked the code to human potential in myself. So it's that quiet place. It's that place by yourself. It's those hours and years and decades by yourself in the grip of life. When life has you by the throat and choking you out, and you're sitting there calm because you're trying to figure it out. You're not panicking. You're not quitting. You're not throwing in the towel. But you're saying there's a way in madness.
Thinking about it, feeling good about it, those are awesome. But if you have a vision of something you're trying to do, become whatever, and you don't execute against it, and I don't need you to want to build a big business. What are you doing? How do you define it? What are your deliverables? What are the metrics by which you're judging yourself? And by the way, if you don't want a grand goal, you don't need one. But then say, what I'm trying to do is get centered. I'm trying to experience happiness. Even that, you can begin to look at ways that you can improve that.
Whatever we have right now, whatever we're demonstrating in our lives, is a result of what we believe subconsciously that we deserve. And part of increasing that belief level is that you have got to convince yourself every day. You can learn all the techniques in the world. If you don't believe in yourself, it won't happen for you.
Right now, between me and the person I want to be, between you and the person you want to be, there is a gap of skill set, and that's it. But once you know your mission, and once you believe that you can accomplish anything you set your mind to, then you can do the extraordinary.
Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Faith don't make it easy. Faith makes it possible. All you want is the strength to get through your life.
Stop thinking,
worrying, looking over your shoulder, wondering, doubting, fearing, hurting, hoping for some easy way out, grinding away at yourself. Stop it and just do. You are not responsible for the world. Only responsible for your work, so just do it.
You can't have a life that you're going to find acceptable without that, because you need the vision and the plans to give you purpose and direction. That's where all your positive emotion comes from. All your motivation is laying out plans that are worth attaining and then observing yourself moving towards them. That's the source of most positive meaning. And then also, without that structure, you're so lost that you're going to be anxious and overwhelmed.
The true heroes and the true titans and the true masters, those people are not fearless. Those are people who have just practiced walking into their fear and living on the razor's edge consistently to the point where they're comfortable amid their discomfort. And that's the great opportunity for you, not to avoid fear, but to be comfortable in the unknown, to be comfortable when you're terrified. Their fears are larger than their faith.
It's very important that you engage in an ongoing process to develop you. Spend more time on yourself than what you've been spending. It's very important. You owe that to yourself. Don't know how to say no. And we find ourselves doing all kinds of things and never ever have time to do those things that we need to do to work on ourselves. And then there goes a second, there goes another second, there goes another second, and we can't stop and hold time. And before you know it, you wake up one day and you're behind in your dreams and your bills.
It said, on the days that I feel like I'm not gonna make it, on the days that it feels like I can't endure anymore, I think back on my track record for surviving all my bad days. And so far, surviving all my bad days, my track record is 100%.
So try the most outrageous things you can. Shock yourself. You have at your power the ability to do anything.
You can take your surroundings beyond order and move towards beauty, and that's unbelievably useful because while beauty calls people to their higher being, I would say, and to make friends with beauty is to introduce yourself very carefully to one of the mysteries of life that make it worth living.
I don't know why you do what you do. What is your motive for action? What is it that drives you in your life today, not 10 years ago, or are you running the same pattern? Because I believe that the invisible force of internal drive activated is the most important thing in the world. I'm here because I believe emotion is the force of life.
Every great hero was broken, outsuffered the majority. And what I'm suggesting to you is pain can be transformed into power with the intention to transform pain into power. You see, what most people do is, this is why most good people lose. They stumble and they fall and they become heartbroken or disappointed by life's challenges that happens to every single one of us.
This is the central mantra of my life. It doesn't matter who you are today. It really doesn't. So if you feel like you're incapable of something, maybe you are today. So it's not about who you are today. It's about who you want to become and the price you're willing to pay to get there.
So you have to watch who's speaking into you.
You've got to begin to monitor your mind. And you've got to begin to literally be proactive in programming yourself to success. Be ye not conformed to this world. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. You've got to take responsibility to make that happen. And as you begin to do that, you'll begin to see some incredible changes in your life. when Earl Nightingale said, all of us are self-made, but only the successful will admit it.
Dreams without goals are just dreams, and they ultimately fuel disappointment. So have dreams, but have goals. Life goals, yearly goals, monthly goals, daily goals. I try to give myself a goal every day. Have goals. And understand that to achieve these goals, you must apply discipline and consistency.
Who do you know that you can compare yourself to? That's easy. You. Yesterday. So here's a good goal. It's something like, well, aim high. And I really mean that. Aim high, but use as your control yourself. It's like, so your goal is to make today some tiny increment better than yesterday. Incremental improvement is unstoppable.
I continue to fail. I love failure. The indomitable will, if you have a belief you can do something, the only way you grow that, like in the gym, you grow your muscles by actually exercising. You know, you grow the love of you and your wife by caring for them and having their back. To grow the individual will to become something, you must get comfortable with fear and failure. They must be your best friends. They're the only one that moves that needle of light. Why is that? Because it's a report card back on your shortcomings.
On why they're not living their dream, on why they're not manifesting their greatness. They will always be able to point those things out, but none of those things count. The only thing that counts are results. And results don't lie, ladies and gentlemen. They tell it all. Judge a tree by the fruit that it bears, not the ones that it might talk about, not the ones that it might wish for, or think about, or affirm about, but the fruit that it actually bears.
Work on your focus. Work on your focus. Perspective is everything. Let me tell you something. The problem with most of you is that you see difficult as something negative. For real, for real. I want you to see difficult differently. Well, listen to me. The more you go through, the more difficult it is, the more challenging it is. Listen to me, the harder it is. Are you hearing me? The more challenging it is, all you're doing, baby, is building muscle.
So let us look. I think that all of us are committed. But I think that some of us are producing results in our lives that level of commitment brings that we particularly don't like or find distasteful. I don't think that as a participant in life, you cannot be committed. You're either committed to mediocrity or you're committed to greatness.
The goal should be, how could I conceive of my life so that if I had that life, it would clearly be worth living, so I wouldn't have to be bitter, resentful, deceitful, arrogant, and vengeful.
Hard work works.
So don't quit. Don't give up. Don't stare at listen to me. You don't get bulked by staring at weights. You don't get bulked you don't get healthier by staring at it. You get healthier by running up to it and grabbing it and pushing it. Look, push through that stuff. Push through it. You can get through it. He said he won't put on you more than you can bear. You can get through it.
Safety, comfort zones are dead zones because your true potential will never be matched, guys. Will never be matched. You have to continue to push yourself.
I'm gonna make a difference in the world, and you don't believe it, but say it 1,000,000 times. You're gonna end up believing it. I'm meant to do something special in my life. There's no way in the world God put me on this planet to just be a regular guy. No way. The blood in here is boiling. I want to do something big with my life. This guy was put on this planet to make a difference. Say it over and over and over and over and over. and over again. Convince everybody in the world. The entire time you're just trying to convince one person, and that is you.
You must break society's status quo. Status quo is normality.
You're either committed to being productive or you're committed to being non-productive. You're committed to being happy or you're committed to being unhappy. See, whatever you're doing, however you spend your time, that tells you who you are. So think about what it is you like to create in your life experience.
Winning is in all of us. We all want to win. But the path people take to get to winning, everybody wants the end result and they want to feel the sugar and the confetti and all that other stuff. But what you have to endure to win, no one wants to talk about. And that's what really winning is about, because you spend more time enduring it and being in and not in a good place. And I wanted to bring it out and say, hey, no matter what you do in life, where you're at, this is what winning takes. And it's in all of us.
And anything you want good, you can have. So claim it. Work hard to get it. When you get it, reach back. Pull someone else up.
You decided there's something you wanted so bad that you unleashed all your desire. You became obsessed with it. If it was a business or a relationship or a transformation in your body, if there's something you once envisioned and now it's real, it's because you didn't just envision it, you brought so much emotion to it that now it's in your life. It was once a dream, it was once a goal, and now it's in your life.
It's alive but not living. It's death on a stick, guys. The belief of the individual can overcome thousands of fouls. One person with a belief overrides thousands of people with just intent.
To do all we can right now, where we are. Forget about the mistakes yesterday. Forget about all your failures yesterday. Forget about what you don't have. That's not important. Only thing that we have is right now.
The difference between a champion and someone who's forgotten is that a champion shows up.
Passion I feel. I am not here for anything external to myself. I am here because I have a passion within me.
It's important for lost young people, male and female alike, to develop a vision and take on some responsibility and understand that they have a vital role to play in the world, that the lack of their best hurts everything.
There's so many times in life you don't want to be doing what you're doing. You can't just quit. You remember this, it's in the hobby, it's in the show, it's in lifestyle. So what you say to yourself, support, there's no coach, there's no trainer to keep you going, it's only you. The whole thing is this, don't say a word. Stay uncommon amongst uncommon people. You're never done. Don't stop when you're tired. Stop when you're done. Life's one big head game. You play it with yourself. If you lose, it's because you allow life to get in your head.
When they look in the mirror, they're just trying to see what's on the surface. But winning and losing wants to know what's inside of you. It wants to know what makes you tick. It wants to know what your desires are. It wants to know what your ego is. It wants to know what your limitations are. It wants to know what your mindset is. It wants to know everything about you, because winning does not lie. When you look in the mirror, you can lie and see what's on the surface, cannot hide what's going on inside. And that's what people are not willing to see, the lies that are truly going on inside of them that are not allowing them to win over and over, or sometimes even win once. You have to look. Winning requires you to go so far deep inside yourself. It's way beyond the surface. It's way beyond internal. It's going to a place that a lot of people have visited in a long, long time because they're afraid to visit that person, because when they visit that person, they don't know who that person is anymore.
See, I think we're all hardwired to do something really special with our life. And everything goes on the inside, shows on the outside. See, we're gifted with faculties of the mind that the average person knows nothing about. You have intuition, the will, reason, imagination, perception, memory. That's what separates us from all the rest of forms of life. Our imagination. Hill said it's the most marvelous, miraculous, inconceivably powerful force the world's ever known. I can use my imagination to project myself into the future and bring the future into the present and start living there. You work from the imagination, you don't work to it. You work from it.